Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Ryan Young video. Today we're going to be discussing what is a mogger and how you can become a true mogger. Now, a mogger is someone who just manifests all of their aura, has all the attractiveness and all the attention in any room, no matter where they go in the world. The first step in order to become a mogger is to have confidence in the looks you already have. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't need to change your looks. This doesn't mean that you don't need to go and improve. This doesn't mean you shouldn't go lose fat. This doesn't mean you shouldn't go clear up your acne. This doesn't mean you shouldn't go do all of these other things. The thing is, if you're already not confident in yourself, then even when you have the looks, it's not going to reap the benefits that you desire. This is why I love self-affirmations, telling yourself that no matter what happens, you are you and you are the best. You are confident in who you are. You are confident in your own body, because no matter what, there's always limitations to everything we can do. There's limitations to the amount of muscle we can gain. There's limitations to the amount of fat we can lose. There's limitations to the looks we have. And I'm not going to deny, a lot of it is genetic, but you still have quite a bit of control over it, and that's what this video is for. Now I'm going to get into the actual meat and potatoes of the video, which is talking about the things you can do to become a mogger quite quickly. First thing you need to do is to stop bulking. Yes, you need to stop bulking, regardless of what all these fitness influencers tell you. Bulk this, bulk that. You're going to put on muscle, you're going to put on that. Listen, bulking isn't the thing that puts on the muscle. It's the protein intake and the amount of stimulus onto the actual muscle itself. Bulking, what it does essentially is puts on fat onto your frame, and therefore you're able to lift heavier weights. Because you have more mass, and therefore mass moves mass, and therefore you're able to build more muscle because of progressive overload. It isn't actually the direct stimulus of muscle growth itself. Now, of course, if you're in a severe caloric deficit, right? If you're in a severe caloric deficit, then you're going to lose muscle because your hormones are going to be screwed, your mitochondria is going to be screwed, your insulin is going to be screwed, because you're going to be losing too much fat and you want to have a little bit of fat on your body, right? Because if you have no fat, then your testosterone, your estrogen, your growth hormone will all be screwed up. So this is why you want to stay to maintenance, aka you want to just eat till satiation. Don't think of eating as some game for your calories. Eating is just to satiation. So if you feel full once you eat a meal, don't eat anything after that, because it's just no point. You're just going to be putting on body fat after that, because your body is sending signals through hormones, through your cells, to tell you that you have eaten enough for the amount of calories you've burned over the day. Because if you were doing cardio, if you're doing these things correctly, you will be burning facial fat, you will be burning abdomen fat, you will be burning back fat, all of this stuff. Now, the next thing I suggest is a lower carb diet. Now, what I'm not suggesting is to quit. Now, what I'm not suggesting is to completely eliminate carbs from diet, because when you eliminate carbs, a lot of other problems can arise. So what we're going to do first is actually slowly lower the carbs day over day over day. This is how you build those habits. You slowly wean down. You slowly integrate less carbs into your diet. You slowly integrate more protein, more fat, and therefore you're going to lose more fat, because thermogenic effect of ketosis is much better than being in a carb glucose-like state. Now, the best thing for fat loss is ketosis and moving. Those two things will allow you to burn so much facial fat. Will get rid of your water too, because carbs increase water retention like crazy. So make sure you're eating just fruits intermittently, and make sure you're also not eating in the morning, because in the morning your cortisol spike, all your hormones are spiked. If you eat, your hormones are going to go down because it's an antagonistic effect to your body. So the next thing you need to do after being fasted is break the fast, aka have breakfast at 1 to 2 in the afternoon. This time will give you a time window from 1 to 2 to around 5 to 6 at night. That is your eating window. Once you finish eating in that time, you're replicating the natural pulses of consuming food, just like our ancestors did when they went for long, arduous hunts. Burn the calories at the start of the day, when they're awake, when their cortisol is high, when their adrenaline is up, and their testosterone is high in the morning, early in the morning, when the circadian rhythm is set as it should be. And then once all the hormones settle, right, the nutrients comes in, the insulin comes in to facilitate muscle growth, to facilitate recovery, and to facilitate fat loss. The next thing you need to do is to get every electrolyte you need. Now, what electrolytes do is replenish the water within your cells. It also flushes out all the water retention you have under your skin. So for example, if you eat a lot of potassium and your sodium is low, you're going to have less overall water retention because potassium acts as a diuretic. Now, what a diuretic does is it flushes all the water in your system out by removing the hydrogen molecules from the cells. But sodium will also allow you to have a bloated facial look. So what we want to have to do is lower the sodium in comparison to the potassium ratio, especially early in the morning when cortisol is high, because you're going to get that raccoon eye look if you don't prioritize first of all, your sleep, and then second of all, your electrolyte balance. Second of all, you need to exercise. Exercise has many benefits, from ranging from fat loss, mental benefits, cognition, sleep benefits, improved mood, muscle mass, and growth. Everything you need in life is from exercise. Now, doing the ideal exercise routine would be ideally in the sun, because that's how our ancestors did it. Our ancestors didn't just go under a cave and start doing push-ups. No, they'll be running, sprinting outside. That's how your growth hormone increases. That's how your testosterone increases. You'd be doing push-ups in the sun. You'd be doing lifting these heavy things in the sun. Kettlebell workout, pull-ups in the sun, push-ups in the sun at the park. And that will get you the most results from your hormones. Now, if you want to go to the gym, that's fine. Resistance training works for muscle growth too, because you're still getting that resistance stimulus to your muscle to create muscle hypertrophy, aka muscle breakdown, to make the muscle fibers larger. But if you want to maximize all the results of your life and not just for hypertrophy, then the most optimal way is to do a workout outside in the sun, and most likely should be a functional based exercise. With all these things in mind, the food timing, the amount of food, the fact that you don't need to be bulking or cutting, the fact that exercise is the most optimized and thermogenic when you do it earlier in the day and you do functional exercises in the sun, increasing your vitamin D, increasing your testosterone, increasing your growth hormone. This is what I'm all about. This is what it's all about. Saying it's just a gym is a total cope, total lie. And when you actually branch out and try to educate yourself on exactly the other things that you can do in life to improve yourself, then you'll realize that you knew so little before. Just because you go to the gym doesn't mean you know everything, right? You can consistently go to the gym. It doesn't make it hard. It just totally depends on how you work out and how you push yourself to evolve into a completely different human being. It isn't just showing up. Because if everyone showed up, right, then everyone would be the best. But they're not. Because it's all about how you evolve, how you become 1% better each time. This is just a short video on how you can become a mogger and not have to hard max. These are the ultimate soft maxes in order to lose facial fat, lose facial water, tan, become more jacked, etc. These are the soft maxes you can really do, besides maybe getting a haircut and other things. But the rest is all just hard maxing, and I'm not about that. I'm about just using what you naturally have. So as always, guys, peace.